everybody, welcome back to Terps Esports. I'm Lily.
And I'm Tomas, and we've got a great game ready for you guys. We've got the Valorant Academy team here in the studio today. This is only their second time in the studio, so they're definitely really excited. And on top of that, they're playing for third place in the NECC playoffs. So if they win this, third place, otherwise fourth place. So they really want to win this game and get onto that podium.
Yeah, and if they do win this game, they might have the possibility to go to NECC champions.
Yeah.
So that is a huge deal. There's a lot on the line. And now we're going to actually head into just a brief introduction for two of the players on the team.
Yeah, it's been a while, so hopefully we can get just like a little nice recap. First of all, we got Rewind here. He's going to be a duelist on the team. You can see he really likes playing that Jet character.
Yeah, and last time we saw him in the studio, he did a really good job on the Jet, so I hope, we see a little bit of that today, some clips in the making there.
Yeah, absolutely. You definitely want to keep your eye on him. If he's going to be probably the first person into site, getting these entry frags, making that space, so got to keep an eye out for him. He's going to be the explosive end of this Academy team.
And next up, we have Salamander, who usually plays controller, and his favorite agent is Omen.
Yeah, personally I'm hoping for some creative Omen plays, some fancy teleports, but this is a serious game, so we're probably just going to be seeing some very disciplined play, just getting those smokes down, helping the team on the site.
100%.
Yeah.
And next we actually are going to look at a quick clip from one of the Academy players, UG. We'll head into that, and then we'll catch him afterwards for a brief interview. Yeah. So here we have some Valorant clips to start things off. As you can see, it's just so important, very flexible. We're seeing a huge range of agent selects here.
Thank you.
Do you usually stick to playing, who do you stick to playing on the Academy team? Especially, we've seen Viper, we've seen Fade in these clips. Who's your go-to?
Well, these are a mix of clips, not just from scrims, but also from ranked and Overwatch too.
Overwatch.
It's a wide range, but generally it's easier to stick to a couple agents in officials.
Who do you usually play in Overwatch? I'm not too familiar with the game, but
yeah, I don't really know the game very well, so I just play the characters that are all aim, no brain, basically. So Sojourn, Cassidy, those ones are the most fun to me, I think.
Nice, and I see you're Vandal over Phantom usually, right?
Yeah. Also, that clip was on C9 Jakey. Fun fact.
Oh, dang! When'd you run into him? Just a normal regular? Or?
It was a comp game.
Oh, wow!
I think it was a birthday stream. It was his birthday. I think he was a bit drunk.
That's funny. What a story to tell.
Yeah.
So just to ask you a couple questions about last week's game, how did that go for you guys, and what do you expect to change heading into today?
It was a tough game. We definitely did not perform up to expectation. What we intend to change, we have put in more work since then. We've put in work specifically in a couple maps that we hope to show off today. But going in, I don't think we feel too bad. I think we're prepared.
Yeah, and just to go off of that, how was the mentality today? This is a pretty high-stakes game for you guys. How are you guys feeling, just mental-wise, confidence-wise?
Yeah, I think since it's our second time in the studio, it's a little bit less overwhelming.
Yeah.
Our mental's definitely better. We're just here to have fun, really, at the end of the day.
Yeah, that sounds like a good place to be. And we did see some Overwatch clips. Why did you decide to compete in Valorant specifically rather than go into Overwatch more?
I think Valorant as a game just makes a bit more sense to me.
Yeah.
Overwatch can be really, what's the word? A lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
I see that. I relate to you, yes.
Yeah, so Valorant is just a little bit simpler. It's just less things to focus on, I guess, which I like.
And speaking of Valorant, give me a skin that you think is overrated and one that you think deserves more hype.
Overrated. I think the Forsaken Vandal is a little overrated. I know that's like the yay skin and it's really satisfying when you hit taps, but I think people like it a little too much. And underrated, I think I'm gonna have to go with the Smite. I think
You have to be more specific. Which
the Smite Phantom specifically.
Okay.
But I mean the knife, the whole set, the
whole
Odin, it's just great. It's just great stuff, really.
That is a hot take if I've ever heard one. Well, I wish you luck in today's game.
Thanks
you for chatting a little bit to kick things off, and we'll catch you guys after.
And I think by the end of the season, like now, we play together. Everyone kind of jokes around a little bit more and kind of shines their natural ray. We're excited just to see them play better as well.
With the middle school program, the best part has been seeing the moments of teamwork where the middle schoolers really seem to get the game, and so that's when you can see they're starting to get a little bit hooked on how esports can be so fun.
Off game, or will Red turn things around?
Terp adventures take flight at Stamp. Host to countless Maryland events, programs, performances, and more. Feed your body, feed your mind, feed your soul. Let your talents soar. Dance, sing, perform. Find your thing. Join more than 800 student organizations and clubs. Find community here. Leadership lives here. Art thrives here. With space to grow. We're all just kids at heart. Let your imagination fly. Compete. Play. With wings on our feet. Here your spirit can fly. Here your soul lifts up. Here you remember those who came before. This is STAM. This is the center for campus life, where Terp adventures take flight. You belong here. Come fly with us.
To get ready from both sides. But I just want to talk about the map selection that we're going to be seeing. I know that the players have been talking about wanting to be on. They were talking about wanting to play on maps such as Icebox and Lotus, and which are I think are very like close range maps. So I think that really speaks to the strength of this team. You know, for instance, having that Gen, that Omen, able to get high octane engages and just burst onto site.
Yeah, and I think it says a lot about how they have changed things up heading into this game. Last time we saw them, they didn't sound too particular, at least on favoring those maps that didn't have a lot of like long range fights. This time they seem to be more particular about getting their enemies in close and really utilizing those Omen smokes and smokes in general, like you were saying, to take on those close range fights with shotguns. I heard them laughing about using shorties, so I think we have a bit of funny business in store.
Yeah, no, and I'm really glad to see, like you said, this team kind of coming together in the way that they're playing. I mean, we saw how technically capable these players are with that highlight reel, which is why they're on this team. But the whole point of Academy is to take these players who just kind of have been playing for fun and try to make them into these professional players. So definitely, I'm really glad to see it that they're taking full advantage of this and really coming together as a team.
Yeah, and they put up I feel like they're gonna put up a good fight this time. They don't want to lose this game. Yes, it is a third place game, but you know, that if they win again, they have the possibility to qualify for NECC champions, and that's a big deal. And no one wants to be 4th place, you know. You want to be on that podium.
Yeah, that podium spot is super important, and also to say that you went to nationals. I mean, yeah, definitely we are going to be seeing, you know, the most serious, locked in, you know, Valorant Academy team that we've seen all year, and I can tell that we're in for one hell of a game.
Yeah, and it's nice having them in the studio too. They couldn't come in too often, like towards the beginning of the semester, but it's been really nice having them in recently. They bring really good energy to the studio. I think as a team, they're very like talkative with each other, which is good. That's what you want to see.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that it really goes. It's really important for that, for the fact that they're in the studio. It can be hard, you know, having that sense of teamwork and cohesion when you're just 5 people playing from, like, you know, randomly across campus versus, you know, everybody being in, you know, in this room together playing. And I think it's super important. You're talking about the energy, having that energy. You know, one person just can be what the whole team needs in order to keep, especially if, you know, they end up on a losing streak. Just having one player say, like, hey guys, like, it's gonna be okay, and give some fist bumps around, like that can be a huge determining factor in the game, the outcome.
Yeah, and all we can hope for is just a turnaround from what we saw last time and from them in the studio. That game didn't go too well for them. It ended in 2, UMD losing both of those. So really hoping, I think they're hoping as well, they can just, you know, turn things around. I think, like Ethan was saying earlier, he was trying to talk about how they've kind of shaked off those nerves of being in the studio for the very first time, and hopefully they're coming back like new and improved.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, granted, they're playing for a 3rd place position. This is certainly that goes to show that this is not a team to be scoffed at. This is a team that is serious. Even if, you know, they weren't in the best shape at the beginning of the semester, they are a force to be reckoned with now. And I think for the Louisville team, you gotta be nervous coming into this. There's just no way around it.
I'm not sure if they've actually played Louisville or not. So that's another thing to consider, is have they seen this team before? Is the team gonna bring up the same thing as they did last time?
Yeah. And
that being said, I think we're gonna head into the game shortly, minus technical difficulty or 2.
Yeah. No, we're having a little bit of difficulty with the game window, but we should be, like Lily said, we should be hopping into the game any second now, and I'm really excited to see what these teams have in store for us. You know, again, this is a big match, so this is the time to see if these teams have any, you know, like any unique strats that they've been saving for the right moment. I mean, this is the moment. So definitely very, very excited to see what these teams have in store for us. Just in a second, hopefully.
Yeah, and while we just have a little bit of time here, wanted to mention UMD is competing this weekend in their first, in the first big esports LAN at Ohio State. Make sure you guys tune into that. It's being broadcasted on the Ohio State's esports Twitch, and also I believe on another collegiate streaming platform. I'm not exactly sure which one.
Is it big? I'm not familiar. Not big.
It's one of the other ones. We will update you, but make sure you guys watch that. And here we are in Agent Select.
On the at that LAN, I think there's going to be Valorant. I know the Overwatch team is going there.
Yeah.
You're going to have League of Legends as well.
I believe so.
Yeah.
And I think some Mario game too.
Oh,
it's
wow.
like Smash Bros or something.
Yeah, Super Smash Bros Ultimate.
Yeah.
No, that's a super competitive game, so I'm not surprised. Yeah, that's super exciting. But enough about that. Let's get into this game, and we're going right into Split, which definitely can work into that close range, you know, toolbox if that is what UMD's plan is. And I want to talk about the Cypher coming out from both teams. Actually, that's not a character that I think I've seen very often. So yeah, I mean, tell us what Cypher tells you about these teams.
Yeah, Cypher is going to be huge for both of them, holding down defense, especially on that B site. Usually Cypher has some insane one-ways to put up, so it'll be interesting to see how both teams, when they're on the attack side, are able to work around that Cypher utility, if they end up avoiding it completely. It does look like UMD is starting on defense, and Ugg is gonna opt to put that Cypher setup, or what he could afford of it, up in heaven.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting to note into this first round we're getting a 4-man stack over on that B side for Terps Esports. Meanwhile, we're getting a full 5 stack towards A. Granted they're taking it slowly, which is super important. You know, going into that Cypher, who's going to be holding down this A site by themselves. But you know, if they're able to realize that there's no pressure from the UMD side, they might just be able to walk on the site here, and that's actually going to be super dangerous for Terps Esports, especially in this pistol round. It's much more difficult, I think, to rotate. So as they're pushing all the way up to this ramp, we see Cypher is getting timinged a little bit as he's only now peeking here, and he just gets one-tapped by that Cypher from Louisville, and that's going to free up site completely for Louisville.
UMD was not really contested site at all. They were all grouped up mid, but that was the wrong gamble in this case because Louisville put all their efforts towards A site. Now they're forced to retake from heaven mostly.
Yeah, we're seeing a double stack coming in towards right onto the Cypher. And beautiful job using that utility, forcing him off the angle with the Sheriff, and you know, just messing with him a little bit. But unfortunately, they're not going to be ready for this Omen. He's going to be able to take one and also take a lot of pressure off, allowing that Raze to get 2 more for the round. And that's going to be a first round going over to Louisville, and it seemed pretty confident.
Yeah, I think where UMD just got unlucky is Louisville was not mid.
Yeah.
Nobody was mid for Louisville at all, which is rare on Split. Usually you have attacking teams opting to get mid control before deciding what site they're going to hit for the most part. But hey, this time Louisville decided to 5-stack A site, and it worked out for them.
Yeah, no, normally that mid is super important to hold. If you're able to control the mid, you can basically cut off all rotations -1 to either site. So getting that mid control is normally very important, and Louisville doing a good job of reading that UMD was going to want to play for that, and they just go straight to site and they're able to get it. So getting into round 2 now, hearing a couple of Omen smokes. We wish we could figure out what's going on, but I think we've got a little bit of a technical difficulty going on. So you know, we'll get back to that in just a second.
We'll just spikes planted. So yeah, Louisville got into site, whatever site they decided to go on. They got spiked down. Now UMD is retaking again, from what I can tell.
Yeah.
No, not quite. Okay.
Looks like a lot of deaths are certainly going down. Hard to tell who's winning here, but I think UMD is on that defuse, so that could be good. Oh, spoke too soon. It's actually just going to be raised by themselves on this flank, hoping to get, you know, maybe fingers crossed 1 or 2 exiting frags, but they're just going to go down to this Omen. The Jet ends up getting the final shot in, and that's gonna be round 2.
And that Jet had a Vandal. Louisville must have bought everything they could that round. And
Yeah.
hey, I mean, they get to keep all those guns. I think they got a flawless there.
Yeah, I think so.
So UMD is just gonna have to dig deep, save up, buy something to, you know, reverse the tides a little bit.
Yeah, this is going to be a very important round to win. If they're able to get this round, it's going to, you know, pretty much halt this economic advantage that Louisville has been able to get right now. But if they lose this, it could very easily snowball into, you know, a dominant economy for Louisville that allows them to lose several rounds in a row. You know, if it happens that way, and still end up with money to spend.
And I think, once again, we're just having a little bit technical difficulties. I think we are in the 3rd round. We will listen in as best we can.
Yeah.
So I don't think anyone's really died.
Yeah,
yet
no.
on
Sounds
either
like we're having a little bit of a slow round, though. You know, of course, Louisville wants to play a little bit tricky this round because they are likely going to be at a gun disadvantage. I think, you know, that Omen from the last round had a Spectre, while UMD is probably having a full buy. You know, they're gonna have those Vandals, their Phantoms, and full shields. So, you know, Louisville, if they've got some trick, either making a lot of noise on one side and going to the other one, or they've got like a special, you know, Omen like smoke to cut off a certain angle. This is definitely the round to use it, because they need every advantage that they can get right now.
I hope Ugg, once he gets the money, starts setting up either like on on his site. I feel like last time at the round we actually were able to get like a good visual on. He was up in heaven, and I think that's just kind of gave up sight to them. So I really hope that he's able to start using those one ways to his advantage and all of the corners where Cypher is really valuable on this map. And I think UMD has spiked down, so hopefully they're holding that down right now.
Yeah, no, I mean, sounds like we're actually going to get a flawless out of UMD, which is actually super important because, you know, we were talking about the economy, and since they lost those first 2 rounds, they probably didn't have a lot of money going into this. So the fact that they're able to get that flawless and keep that money means that what could have been a dominant economy for Louisville is probably now much closer to a dominant economy for UMD.
Yeah, and that is exactly the round UMD needed. You know, just it changes everything: economy, mental, and just again, Valorant, game of momentum. So we could hear the team get really hyped up from in here, congratulate each other on pulling off that round win.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's super important that you bring up mental because, you know, the pistol rounds are just so different from the rest of the rounds. But, you know, technically your brain loves to say, like, it's still Valorant. You guys just lost. You guys suck, I guess. And so the fact that you're able to win that first gun round and say, like no, we've just had, like, an awkward pistol round is super, that's super important for not getting tilted going into this.
100%. That's what these next couple rounds are going to be about, is just, you know, slowly catching back up to Louisville. And it does look like we have visual of the game. I spoke too soon. We do not have visual of the game yet. Hopefully getting shortly, but what I could see of it, UMD was definitely numbers down. I think only 2 to 4.
Yeah, something like that. So unfortunately, this round not quite going in their favor as much as that first one was, as Louisville is now getting down that spike. But I think the round's just going to end anyway.
Yeah, with spike planted, I think only one UMD player now. Probably not going to be in their favor too much.
Yeah. But yeah, this is still, you know, again, perfectly fine for UMD because remember, they didn't have to buy any weapons. They had a full buy this round. You know, at least I think every single player on that UMD side had, you know, either a Vandal or a Phantom plus shields, but they didn't have to buy anything going into this round because they got a flawless on round 2. So even if, you know, they have a particularly bad round this round, they should be able to bounce back just fine.
Yeah, their economy should be looking okay, like you said, and hopefully their ultimate status are also getting up there, and those definitely have the capability to be round deciding. Especially if your economy's not looking too good, like UMD might be running into shortly. Having those ultimates can make all the difference.
Yeah, and I think, just like you said, just in the same way that round 3 was a super pivotal round in terms of that economy, I think this round is also going to be very pivotal as UMD, you know, probably is running a little bit low on money now again. So if they're not able to get that this round win, they could be looking into some money trouble.
Yes, and again, apologies for the technical difficulties. You know, it's not you know, frustrating to not be able to see the game that we can hear, but bear with us.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we're trying as best we can. Sometimes these things just happen and you got to roll with the punches, but you know, one could argue that that's an important lesson for these players as well. I think that we're probably just going to take a little bit of a commercial break to see if we can get these technical difficulties under control. But we'll be back in just a second, hopefully, and we'll see you guys on the other side.
And I think by the end of the season, like now, we play together. Everyone kind of jokes around a little bit more and kind of shines their natural ray. We're excited just to see them play better as well.
With the middle school program, the best part has been seeing the moments of teamwork where the middle schoolers really seem to get the game, and so that's when you can see they're starting to get a little bit hooked on how esports can be so fun.
Off game, or will Red turn things around?
Terp adventures take flight at Stamp. Host to countless Maryland events, programs, performances, and more. Feed your body, feed your mind, feed your soul. Let your talents soar. Dance, sing, perform. Find your thing. Join more than 800 student organizations and clubs. Find community here. Leadership lives here. Art thrives here. With space to grow. We're all just kids at heart. Let your imagination fly. Compete. Play. With wings on our feet. Here your spirit can fly. Here your soul lifts up. Here you remember those who came before. This is STAM. This is the Center for Campus Life, where Terp adventures take flight. You belong here. Come fly with us.
Huge clutch coming in from the UMD side. Looks like they were able to clutch just 28 HP on that last hero, on that last player, and we can see now they've been able to claw this game back into a 3v3 situation, and their economy is also looking pretty good, especially compared to that Louisville side. So the energy is super high in this. I think that we could be seeing a pretty good game on our hands.
Yeah, and welcome back, everybody. Hopefully everything is squared away. We appreciate you guys bearing with us. And hey, when we stepped away for a second, UMD was able to get right back in this. They're at 3-3. Looks like Rewind especially has been coming in huge. As you can see, he's already up to 7 kills.
Yeah, and we were talking about potential shenanigans. We're seeing this. We're seeing this shotgun tucked away on the back of A site. So that Cypher is super dangerous. But we're seeing 2 players on that UMD side just pushing all the way up with the aid of that Viper ultimate. But Sky is going to take first contact as we see some players coming up on vault. Cypher is going to be able to get a pick from the tag, which is just going to force Louisville to back up a little bit. But UMD needs to be careful. They can't pick up too far. As Salamander is going to be able to take some fire. He's able to back up with his teleport, but we're seeing the Raze ultimate come in on that B side as they are able to get full control of the site, and UMD needs to regroup.
Yes, suddenly it just looks like they got control of site with that Raze ultimate. Even though it didn't catch anybody, it certainly deterred people from wanting to defend that site any longer. So yeah, looks like Louisville's going to be able to plant where they so choose as UMD decides to push into them a little bit.
Yeah, they're going to be able to get full control, but watch out for mid. I'm not sure if the Cypher is going to be ready for Viper. They're going to swing and just get timing, but Napasto is going to be able to find that shot. Unfortunately, Hobby on that Raze is going to find 2 on the Maryland side, so Louisville taking the advantage in this round so far.
But Rewind has been coming in huge for his team. Don't discount him. He can definitely turn things around with just a couple kills here to start things off. Here he goes, starting off with 1, but he gets traded pretty instantly. Ugg there is the only UMD remainder left on this defensive side. He would have to kill both and defuse a spike, but with the spike ticking down, doesn't look like that's going to be possible. So he's just trying to run away with gun in hand. He might get caught here from heaven, but he's aware of it and escapes with his life.
Yeah, and you can see these players are super serious, locked in about this game, and they're, yes, they lost the round, but remember that Louisville did not have a lot of money going into that round, and no player survived with the weapon, that Omen, going down to the bomb. So UMD is actually still in a pretty good position here, all things considered. I don't think that Louisville is going to have a money for a full buy, as they're coming into this round with a Stinger and a Bulldog, even though they just won.
And it's not met with a UMD full buy either, so both teams are just going to try and be hunting each other down to get better guns. As it does look like Louisville will be trying to take some mid presence, and there's a lot of aggression from B, from UMD. They might be able to catch Louisville on the flank if they're quick enough.
Yeah, they're able to fully get control of that garage side, And with an Omen one way, it's very hard for them to push in. They're going to start taking shots, but Bean's able to find that kill with just the Sheriff, going to show how dangerous even pistols are here in Valorant. But we're seeing an execute come out from Louisville as they're going to be able to take down the Paso going through that fence area. And as those players start streaming down into B from mid, they might be in trouble of getting pinched by this UMD side.
And looks like Louisville is going to be able to get spiked down, but both sides have taken a considerable amount of losses in terms of players and also in terms of guns. Louisville didn't look like they're able to pick up quite too much of anything. Napasto, on the other hand, was able to pick up a Vandal, and it's the Bulldog that's coming in huge. Watching this garage side, it's going to really just make it so hard for UMD to make any leeway. But coming in through heaven with that Vandal, so it's going to be so deadly. But with such little HP, he would have to find 2 more kills and does not have the enough HP to pull that off.
Yeah, unfortunately, just going down to that Omen in that 2v1. Very close to bringing that back, though. And we're going to be seeing a timeout come out from UMD. I think this is a great time to do it as, now that Louisville has the money, they could start, running away with this game.
Yeah, I think this is a great spot to pause and really talk about how they want to use their ultimates. They have 3 ultimates, Omen, Cypher, and Raze, all of which are pretty good ultimates. Cypher, great for retakes. Omen, great for rotates if you hit a site it's not going well. Raze, great for entrying or taking on 1v1s. So those have to be considered during this timeout.
Yeah, granted, there is a little bit of a hierarchy. I would definitely say that that Raze ultimate is going to be the heavy hitter of UMD going into this next round. We just saw a couple rounds ago the Raze ultimate single-handedly able to get control of a site and arguably win that round for Louisville. So so definitely need to keep your eyes on Rewind going into this round. Just trying to see what kind of targets he's able to find with that. But like you said, that Cypher ultimate can also be super powerful. Just trying to get control of the game. So much of this game is based off of information and what you're able to hide from your opponent. So being able to just see what every single member on the enemy team is doing can be very powerful. So we're going into this round now, and we're just seeing a slow round coming out from Louisville. Makes sense. They don't want to overcommit to something and then just funnel into a Raze ultimate, for instance. So. Yeah, I definitely agree with this play, but looks like they're looking to be put more pressure onto that B side of the map, but that's exactly what UMD looks like they want them to do.
It does look like UMD is stacked up right in garage, and they're holding this really aggressively. Beans and Salmon are going to try to double team this. It looks like it's working out as each finds one apiece. Raze ultimate is in use, though. And Rewind is able to capitalize off of that ultimate. UMD numbers up. HP looking okay on the UMD side with the exception of that Sky. So that aggression actually worked out really well for them. Now it looks like they're going to group up and kind of back off as a team, and they're going to give up this spike all for Louisville and kind of let them deal with having to make the best out of this situation that's not looking great for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, they were able to fully get control of that spike, but they opt to just say, we've got numbers. You still have to push to us. You still have to figure out where we are because, again, you've only really seen 2 of us. The other 2 are complete mysteries. As we can see, they're just fully, doubled up in their spawn. And this whole UMD side is just screaming, take whatever control you want. We're just going to beat you with the advantages that we have so far in this round. As the time's ticking down, we see UMD is going to start pushing out. They're able to get the spike down from that Louisville side, but it looks like they're going to be ready for the Cypher, and the Cypher doesn't really know where to look. So as he's getting pinched now, it might just be up to this Jet to clutch in a 4v1. Cypher is going to be able to find one, and Jet able to find the other. So Louisville coming back in this round a little bit. As the double peek is going to be able to take out Rewind as well, and it's all down to Ugg, and a beautiful shot from Benny on that enemy Cypher. Just a great job playing together from those 2 players.
Yeah, things just fell apart so quickly for the UMD side. That round looked so good for them. Yeah. And those are not the rounds you want to see your team lose. In that round, keep in mind, they bought everything they could. They're down to just pennies now. They're going to have to come on a save here. or just buy stingers, or, you know, again, that round must win economy-wise.
Yeah, and like you said, they really do not have a lot of money to their name, but they've decided to scrape together whatever they can and just try to see if they can surprise Louisville, because yeah, these weapons certainly aren't as good, but I mean, look at this play that they have mid. 3 players watching this one doorway. So the dog, I'm not even sure if that saw Raze. Looks like Rewind is going to opt to just back up, and you know, yes, UMG, you know, their strat was caught out, but you know, Louisville is still not pushing through mid. Ends up getting scared out, but unfortunately, that weapons advantage is just going to play in the favor of Louisville, as they're going to be able to find 4 on their entry.
Phoenix on the Louisville side, want to talk about him a little bit. Oh my gosh, he is just being such a problem for the UMD side on these entries, or even on retakes like we've seen with the previous round. The aim is just incredible, I guess, because UMD just cannot find a way to get that player down, and I think once he's out of commission, the round would flip for UMD, but 15-6 already. Yeah. You definitely want to get eyes on that Jet as fast as you can, and then either avoid them or gang up on him to just get him dead. But wow, that is certainly someone to look out for if you're UMD.
Yeah, no, Louisville is doing a great job of just setting that Viper up and letting them do their thing, which is UMD definitely needs to figure out what's going on, but they also need to figure out, you know, where this Raze is. They're gonna find one Rewind with their knife out, peeking on that corner. Definitely not ready. Javi is falling very low on that Raze from Louisville, but with the Sky able to just top them back up, basically, UMD is essentially just down a member and not much to say for it.
And you don't want, if you're UMD, you don't want to let this round fall apart like your other rounds have, and it just, Napasso, only player left on A side, gets taken down. Looks like Louisville's going to have free range on this A side. Just try to get anybody he can, but he does get traded. That leaves only 2 UMD players, now down to 1 in heaven. Salamander's location is all well too known by this Louisville side. Regardless, he finds 1, but just can't do much in a 1v4. And yeah, UMD just gotta get a couple of these rounds before the half switches. You don't want to end this potentially 2-10.
Yeah, I think UMD already has 3 rounds on the board. So
yeah.
Worst case scenario, we might be seeing that, you know, that 9-3 curse come online, but I'm sure that they're definitely playing for, of course, the 8-4 split instead. So we're gonna be seeing what kind of strategy they have going into this round. But remember, they don't have a lot of money. They force bought just enough to afford those Vandals. And honestly, I'm astonished that they're able to have any Vandals to their name at all. Napasso forced to use Vandal and Light Shields, just scraping together whatever they possibly can. But they do have a lot of ultimates coming into this round, so you can absolutely not count them out. Napasso on the off angle, able to find 1, but unfortunately 2 of the UMD players get traded out for it. So they're not going to be able to use that Sky ultimate, which is a big deal. It's a very powerful ultimate, especially for retakes, which looks like UMD is going to be doing.
Yeah, it does look like UMD is going to be on the retake yet again, but what are they going to be able to change this time to hopefully let it go in their favor? Salamander gets taken down, UG is quickly to follow, and looks like they're not even going to be able to cook up any sort of retake, as they just got killed way too quickly to start anything off. But hey, now they're on the attack side. So.
Yeah, and you know, this is what these both of these teams team comps I think are really built for. We see, you know, of course, that the Raze Sky combo we talked about last week, I believe. It's just so much offensive pressure. You know, the Sky Flash able to come in and not only fully blind anybody who's looking right at it, but additionally, it gives you that info of, you know, where players are. So Raze is then able to just come in and clean up house. So a very, very aggressive team from both sides, especially with the double controller coming out from UMD, just gonna be able to slice up the site however they choose.
So yeah, it's all about how UMD decides to execute this attack round on pistol. This round is really important for UMD and how they are going to be able to set the tone for the rest of their time on the attack. It looks like they're going to opt to push up heaven. Doesn't work out for them though. Both Salamander and Rewind get taken down by the same Raze, who is just sitting ropes. Beans also gets taken down, and now there's only 2 UMD players. It looks like they do still have control of the spike if they're opting for it, but it doesn't really look like they are at all.
Yeah, but you know, this round is still not over. Hobby looks like he's kind of aware of this potential Viper flank, but unfortunately, he is gonna shut that down. That could have been very, very dangerous. So that was good on Hobby to find that, but Ugg able to get 2 kills, and you know, we've seen aces before. This is absolutely not out of the question to happen.
Great shots. Can he find a third? No, and it would just be so hard with that bomb all the way on A site. Even if he was able to find 1 or 2 more kills there, what are you going to do with the time ticking down like that?
Yeah, I mean, the game at that point could probably just become, you know, less of a first-person shooter, more of, you know, a hide-and-seek simulator for Louisville, and they'd probably still be just fine with the way that the timer was ticking down there. And Louisville now just opting for a force buy. We're seeing, you know, a Judge come out, even a Guardian and a Bulldog, versus, you know, UMD no shields on the side. So it's going to be very, very difficult to sustain any kind of gunfight on this round.
And UMD is just more or less surrendering this round economy-wise, just taking the loss, and they're not going to be able to buy anything, and they're going to be met with relatively decent buy on the other side, and they're going to be paying for it pretty automatically with the Bulldog and the Guardian causing damage for UMD to start things off. And now UMD is kind of at a stalemate. They just have to decide if they want to continue pushing this, or it looks like they're going to get pushed into. And that jet, like we said, is just such a thorn in UMD's side.
Yeah, Ugg pushing out of the smoke, just trying to get any kind of, hoping for the surprise fire, being to, you know, maybe get a kill or 2. I doubt that the possibility of winning that round was even in the question for him, but unfortunately he's just going to fall for it. And you know, this round is super, super important for UMD, down 11-3. If they lose this round, go down to game point, and this is going to be UMD's buy round. So if they lose this, they're gonna have no money, no rounds to spare, and next to no chance to bring this game back. So they need to win this.
Yeah, and like you said, they need to win it. So I think coach is very aware of that, and they are taking a timeout here. Probably, I believe, for the UMD side. I'd be surprised if Louisville is taking a timeout. Yeah, I think this is a good time to take a timeout because you just didn't buy anything in the previous round. So hopefully they're going to be able to at least buy like Phantoms, Vandals, something to be able to compete in this very next round. And they got to change up something about their attack.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, normally, you know, the meta, if you will, of these timeouts is to kind of let the game play out and see what you know, how these how the teams are facing and what's going wrong. But UMD just does not have that kind of you know, luxury to spare. As you know, if something goes wrong that they're able to analyze and figure out how to solve, I mean, they're going to be on match point with no weapons, so it doesn't really matter. And even buying, they you know, we see Ugg without full util as there's a huge push coming in on that A side, which leaves B completely open. If UMD, unfortunately, they do drop the spike for give that over to Louisville, but a huge flash coming out. Unfortunately, that Phoenix, like you said, able to just shut down UMD.
And Ugg there, I bet he was just calling for help, begging for help, but instead it looks like as he backed off, Louisville was able to go into sewers, and Ugg is going to be met very shortly here. Cannot get the kill there, all up to Napasso. He would have to get the spike. It's being heavily defended right now, so trying to get things started off, and he does, and he's going to actually be have no other choice but to push into the other player here in sewers, but just does not have a good angle on them.
Yeah, UMD, unfortunately, learned to fall. They were able to actually kite that aggression from Louisville very, very well, as nobody died to that initial fight, but unfortunately, they just weren't quite they were able to adapt quickly, but they weren't fully prepared for it, and they unfortunately dropped the spike, just basically handing Louisville an opportunity to win that round for free. So what could have been a very interesting full rotate from UMD, and they could have had full control of B. Unfortunately, they had to go back and fight Louisville to get that spike down. They just aren't able to quite do it. But we're seeing now more of a standard push from both sides. UMD opting to try and get mid control, while Louisville just has a player on every entrance, just trying to simply hold it down.
And it does look like UMD's going to place most of their bets towards mid-side, players to be exact. The Sky information is there, and I think the Sky dot actually spot all 3 of them, but Phoenix, again, just causing so many issues. I believe that puts him up to 24 kills for the half. So pay attention to that jet if you're UMD for sure.
Yeah, and Alg unfortunately just trying to do whatever he can, but being the long angle with the Stinger, I mean, I think that's just panic from UMD trying to find anything. And as they end up running down Hobby, they're able to find 1, but they're going to lose 2 for it. And as the Sky gets that last kill, UMD is going to be put in a pretty early grave for this first game.
Yeah, UMD just has to figure something out. They got to turn this around. Again, what are you going to do against a star player like that who's basically, has most of the frags for the enemy team? I think a lot of their game plan now during this break between the next game, it has to be how they're going to deal with that player specifically. Like, they have to come up with a specific
absolutely.
plan
I
for
mean,
them.
we were talking about, this team has been doing really well playing as a team and, coming together, but unfortunately, no amount of teamwork can outplay, one player just playing out of their mind. I mean, we were seeing one taps all game, and not only is that super hard to play against, but it's also super frustrating.
Yeah.
Because, you can have the most carefully laid plans laid waste because he just got one shot and was able to put down, a pivotal part of your attack.
Yeah, and we'll find out how UMD responds to the challenges they've seen arise in that first round game after the commercial break.
Yeah. We'll see you just after this. welcome back. We're coming into game 2 now, and all the technical difficulties should be completely sorted out, and we just have a great game of Valorant. Hopefully UMD is going to be able to claw this game back, bring it back, and bring us to a game 3.
Yeah, they would have to bring it to a game 3 to get 3rd place again. Let's not forget what's on the line here. The spot on the podium. Let's look at agent select. So it looks like UMD opting for KJ, Omen once again, and the Viper.
Yeah, definitely watch out for that Gecko. Out of Louisville, it's a little bit of a unique character. We don't see that a lot, but it can definitely offer a lot. But speaking of a lot, just 3 members of UMD coming down on that flank, and they're able to trade 1-for-1. And Napaso able to, take advantage of this chaos that those flankers started as. He's going to find one, he gets traded out, but Ugg's able to find another one, and Louisville not quite able to trade that as Ugg finds a second one for the round, and it's just down to this raise as UMD looks like they're just trying to run this down, unfortunately. Yeah, it's just that Phoenix, they're throwing the side, able to find 2 headshots and bring this to a 1v1.
That is not the person you want to be in a 1v1 with. Hopefully Napaso can get this, or Beans, excuse me. Okay, it's all about mind games here. It looks like the Phoenix is gonna satchel.
30 seconds left.
Beans just had a classic and up against the Sheriff. What can you do? And oh my gosh, if that is not an indication about how quickly one singular person can flip around on its head, there you go.
Yeah, I think that that is something that UMD has struggled with these past couple of these, last game and now this first round as well. Is they're able to get the advantage in the beginning of the round, and they're just not quite able to hold on to it. And so definitely an adaptation that we need to see. I think is just being able to convert these early round advantages into a round win is one of the most important things to be able to do. So definitely need to keep your eyes out for any kinds of adaptations in that late round from UMD.
And I do believe the Rays on the Louisville side was able to purchase a Phantom. So again, gotta watch out for that, as it looks like UMD is pretty much giving up any control of A side, and they're just gonna retake. Looks like most of them actually are retaking from the flank side, although I think Louisville has 2, maybe 3 eyes facing towards that way. Salamander is able to get things started on this retake for UMD. They triple swing out into the Gecko, so they're able to find him as well. Now they can try and march onto the site as a team.
Yeah, they have a man advantage coming into this, and since they were able to find 2 on the flank, they're able to pick up both of those guns. The spike is going to be ticking up pretty quickly though, so they need to start getting control quickly as they go through the door. They just kind of need to start walking on, and unfortunately, there's not really wait for the players. They're able to find it, but are they going to have time to start defusing? Salamis is going to get on it, but I'm not sure if he has time.
No, just barely did not have time, but so close yet so far. Again, just great retake from UMD. Actually, that was one of the first times we saw that retake actually work out for UMD. Their plan, they took all their fights, were very calculated. How they swing every single player was very calculated, and it worked out just not fast enough, and that is what cost them the round.
Yeah, unfortunately not able to get the round, but even still, they were able to fully wipe out that Louisville side, like we saw in that on split. And they forced, like you said, one of them bought a Phantom. They're gonna have next to no cash, while UMD brought literally 0 weapons into that round, so they're gonna be swimming in it a little bit. So this is going to be should be an opportunity for UMD to start bringing this game back into their favor and get that momentum that they need.
And here we are into the 3rd round. Paso finds a early pick there through a wall bang, I believe. So hopefully that's gonna lend UMD to a little bit of a numbers advantage, as it does look like Louisville is grouping towards either C or D, depending on where they want to, if they want to switch off the door or not. Looks like it is going to be C site. Napaso, great job finding that crucial kill with his utility.
Yeah, and also important to note, Napaso was brought very low in that initial gunfight that he won. But because of that Sky, they were just able to bring it back up, and so it's just a full man up for UMD. They're going to lose the Sky Dog, but that's a pretty good trade if they're able to get the Gecko as well. Hobby able to take one down, and UMD up only 3-2. Not ready for Hobby on that with that Odin, able to get one into a 2v2 now, but You gotta watch
30
out for
seconds left.
you gotta watch out for that Killjoy playing all the way up on that CT side.
Last player
What are you gonna
standing.
do against that Odin's? It's all up to Napasso here to figure out how to play against it. Actually, the Odin was just dropped, but I don't know if Napasso really knows that, so he might be trying to play it as if the Odin is still there. Time
10
is ticking
seconds
down. They
left.
have to stick the plant. They do. So now Napasso has to work out something, and Hobby finds his 4th of that round. I think he's gonna pick his Odin back up. Man, yeah.
No, that was super deadly. Odin sounding like he was wielding, you know, Mjolnir rather than just some machine gun, but able to cut down 4 for the round, and they were just doing a great job of playing mind games with that spike. Yes, they were down players, but what can be really deadly when you're trying to attack onto a site against, you know, a full stack on defense is, you know, taking the plant and being down another player. So Louisville is doing a great job playing patience and waiting, even though they were on site within like the first minute of that round, waiting until the last couple seconds to get the plant down. So yeah, very well played from Louisville. They're gonna go up now 3-0 for this game.
And it looks like Louisville's all grouped together towards A, where only Napasso is keeping in mind he does have a setup, so he's going to be able to back away without too much hesitation, just being able to like rely on his setup to hopefully do a little bit of damage as UMD is just rushing towards his A site to group together for yet another retake. Last time they retaked on A, it went pretty well for them despite losing the round, but can they figure that out again, crack that code again as to how they're going to get control of the site?
Yeah, I mean, they could look to do a similar thing, but you know what they didn't have to face last round was an Odin. They also didn't have to face this Vandals. The Killjoy was able to find 2 for the round. Phoenix yet again able to find another pick, and as UMD is walking on the site, they only have pistols. Really good satchel coming out from that raise, able to take one of those players out of position and allow Napasso to get a kill, but it's just not going to be enough as they go down 4-0. And you know, seeing as this is going to be their bye round, this is a very important round for UMD. They need to just hold down the site now and take that win.
Hey, and if you can't beat him, join him is what Ugg says as he purchases that Odin. So hopefully that ends out well for UMD. I think the Odin is really powerful on the defensive side especially. So it looks like he's going to station up towards B site.
And yeah, and UMD's got to be feeling pretty good about that, as they're actually stacking up 3 players, including both the Viper and the Killjoy, onto the site, just denying full access to the site, hopefully. But we're seeing a full 5-man rush down into A, including the Raze ultimate. It's not going to find anybody, but there's a lot of damage to that Viper, as Louisville is going to be able to get control of the site. But not if I have anything to say about it, since Napasso, he's going to find Phoenix.
Once again, Odin becoming such an issue. Regardless, UMD's trying to hold down C-sites, not working out though, as Louisville is just able to find numerous UMD players charging onto site. It's going to force Napasso and Rewind to back up. Rewind though loses his life. It's all up to Beans as he's just trying to spray through the smoke. He's a little paranoid someone's behind him, I think, but
Spike planted.
he might opt to just save this Vandal, maybe find an exit pick or two, but again, it's not looking great numbers wise.
Yeah, and I think you're absolutely right. Just opting to take exit frags if they can and save this weapon and hope for a little bit of a better situation next round. But looks like we're going to be seeing a fight now. Is this Gecko going to be ready? And unfortunately, yes, he is. He's going to be able to take down Beans. Great shot, able to just get the one tap onto that fight, and that's going to be another round for Louisville, as they're starting to run away with this game a little bit.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a timeout come in soon, maybe just in like a round or two. UMD just has to, again, figure something out early here. We've seen glimpses of things that have worked for them, but it just something doesn't work out later in the round and it all falls apart. And this Odin has been in this game for so long. It just never dies.
Yeah, I know. This is we're 6 rounds into this game, and I've already seen the Odin. I feel like in more rounds than I've ever seen the Odin in a game before. Rewind is going to be cut out by that eye, and unfortunately, so much util just getting wall banged through the smoke. Avi in a really awkward position though. The smoke goes down perfectly timed. Is UMD a little bit of just a firing range, able to take whatever targets they want, and they're able to find all 4 of those pushers on A. It's just down to this Killjoy. He has to manage to across 5 players and onto the spike, and it's just not going to happen.
UMD just all won their individual fights there. That was the difference. They all just like took on their 1v1s and won them and held down A from there. That round went really well. Hopefully they take inspiration from what worked that round and translate it into what we see next. I do believe they picked up that Odin, so it lives.
Yeah, I know that UG was definitely playing with that Odin a couple rounds ago, but now it's going to be in the hands of Salamander. Let's see what he's going to be able to do with it. And we're seeing a lot of aggression coming out from UMD as it looks like they're trying to push 3 players into that B side and just control that mid area, just shut down all rotates, and we're going to be seeing a little bit of a head-to-head. And she's gonna peek Halby with her Odin, and I think she's been a little bit overconfident now. You know, she's been a little bit invincible with the Odin, but now she's just gonna go down for it. We're seeing killjoys coming out from both teams, and that's gonna work out in UMD's favors. Louisville's fully rotating and giving up control of what could have been a free site from their killjoy.
And now Louisville has to rotate, and they're going to be met with 3 UMD defenders. I guess holding an off angle. Can he find one off of it? No, not quite, but he certainly puts up a decent distraction for Salamander to be able to find one off of him.
Yeah, and UMD again with the man advantage, and they also have, you know, like space advantage as well. Louisville does not really have a hold onto any of the site. I mean, UMD's weakest site is probably C, and that still has you know, a full killjoy setup. None of those you know, gadgets have been triggered, and we're gonna seeing they're triggered now. Is Napasso's just gonna be able to find Phoenix.
Great job from utility again. Napasso just playing his util so wisely, and that's the second time he's been able to kill Phoenix on the other side. And again, if he can keep that up, that is going to be huge for UMD.
Yeah, it looks like Louisville is just trying to keep this Odin. It's actually a very aggressive play if they're trying to keep it. Normally you would see them, you know, running away, but it looks like Benny is trying to get, you know, kill 2 birds with 1 stone, or perhaps 2 UMD members with 1 Odin. But it looks like he's going to be just perfectly happy getting none and keeping that Odin, as Louisville does have plenty of money, so they don't really need to worry about the economy all that much.
I wish we had a little counter for how many times someone purchased or picked up an Odin in this game, because I think we're at a record number.
Yeah, I think we might be at, you know, 6 out of 6 rounds. Sorry, 6 out of 7 rounds in this half with an Odin, but we're also at 2 out of 2 rounds if you just count these past 2 rounds with UMD wins. So UMD looking like they might be able to have gotten a little bit of momentum, and that's really important. They didn't have much of any in that first game, so this is exactly what UMD needed.
And UMD just hoping to work off of that momentum. They did invest the Viper Ultimate C site. Doesn't look like it's going to be used by anybody, as no one is heading that direction. Napasso, again, great use of utility, stopping that wingman plan. Spike is down. Looks like they're going to have to get on site to retake it, and looks like Rewind able to find that trade from UG.
Yeah, able to find that flanking killjoy, but unfortunately UMD is going to lose another member. Salamander with that Odin, though, I've never seen Odin be this impactful in the game, but it's going to be able to get a kill. And Napasso using the turret as a bait, unfortunately, just not going to get quite as much attention as he would have hoped. Salamander able to find another kill, but Hobby with the Odin back, and that was like four kills for the Odin in 1 round. I've never seen this many Odin kills.
I don't know how you even respond to having so many Odins on the other side. Like, do they practice for this? Do they expect this? What do you do now that the meta of this game specifically is just who's gonna pick up the Odin next?
Yeah, it seems like a little bit of a game of like hot potato or something. Both teams just, you know, trying to hold on to that Odin for as long as they possibly can before eventually, you know, handing it back to the enemy team. But somehow Louisville looks like they're taking the advantage with the Odin this game so far.
And it just shows you how many things these teams really do have to prepare for before they head into a match. You never know what the other team's going to pull, whether it be crazy composition, map picks, or gun choices.
Yeah, absolutely. There's just so many variables going into this that, you know, you can plan for 100 things in your scrims. You know, just play a game over and over and over again until you think you know everything, and then the enemy team just comes out with an Odin. and all your preparation, it feels like, just goes out in the wind. So we're seeing less of what UMD has planned and more what UMD is able to adapt against.
Hey, now we got an operator.
Yeah.
All the expensive guns are coming out for this one.
Yeah, Salamander is deciding not to play around with fully automatic weapons anymore. He's had enough of the Odin. He wants to go for really the opposite end of the spectrum with that operator. As we're seeing one of the only one Phantom in the game as well. I think that's pretty interesting. It feels like there's more Phantoms, more Odins than Phantoms. So, really no idea what's going on with the gun composition.
And once again, Louisville looking, hey, this time Beans responds though in tree, able to find a crucial pick to start things off. The Paso gets taken down in trees, but Salamander with that operator responds, holding down tree there.
Yeah, and UMD able to get the advantage in this round, but we have seen that we have seen them have trouble holding on to these advantages. And as Hobby is going all the way into spawn with this Odin, I mean, is UG going to be ready for it? Gets the timing on Hobby and brings him down to just 21 HP, able to get the wallbang and get the KO. Now it's just a 3v1, peeking right into Salamander's operator. That's just not going to work out for Killjoys. They're going to be able to get a third round on this half.
Nice round for UMD. You can see it in their faces. Just the mental is up. You see smiles on most of their faces there. So again, they've won 3 of the past 4 rounds. That is exactly the kind of momentum you want to end a half with. And Salamander is able to hold on to that up. UG repurchased an Odin, so they have a comfortable weapon purchase up against a not so comfortable weapon purchase on the Louisville side.
Yeah, they're really scrambling together whatever kind of weapons they have, and on top of an unorthodox weapon selection, they're also opting to go down mid the first time this half. Rewind trying to get a little bit too aggressive with that abilities of Beans, able to get a great crossfire, gets 2 and still at full HP, so he could be good for another 1 or 2 kills. Unfortunately, going to get sprayed down through the wall, but it's not going to be enough as Betty Bread also goes down to Beans, and he's able to fully back up. Yeah, he's only down to 26 HP, but Louisville is down to 2 players, so UMD's looking great for this round as well.
And that is just your nightmare. Someone sitting behind that box. You gotta check that box or spam through it or something, or you're gonna end up on the other side of what Beans was able to pull off there.
Yeah, I mean, you can talk about how Rewind might have played a little bit too aggressive all you want, but you fool me once, shame on me. But UMD is able to fool Louisville twice on that on that B aggression, and it gives them a pretty confident round, as it's just down now to Shiraku on that Killjoy, and that Odin strikes again, able to get another kill.
Here we go, UMD. Like, they've really brought this back into their own control. Yes, they are still down 2 rounds, but it doesn't feel like it. Let's take another look at what Beans was able to pull off by just hiding behind that box. No one checks it. Finds 2 by swinging once, re-peeks to find a 3rd, and then he backs up.
Yeah, no, very, very well played from Beans, able to get 2, and also able to just patiently wait, trusting in the great forces above to not allow Louisville to spam him out through that box, and they're gonna be able to take that round for it. So bringing it back 4-6 is already a better half than they had on that split round, and it doesn't look like they're gonna show any sense of stopping. Phoenix popping that Raze ultimate, getting control of the site, but UMD doing a great job of just cutting that away, not gonna fall for it. Although I might have spoken a little bit too soon, as Killjoy brought down to what looks like maybe 1 HP. Fortunately, Sky is going to be able to come in there and get that heal up.
And all the UMD players are retaking from the same exact spot. They're all bunched together here. Phoenix could have been such an issue, but Napaso takes him down early.
Yeah, Elgin to be able to get 1, even though this has been something of an old round for Louisville. UMD is the team in the driver's seat. They're going to be able to find the Omen as well, and it's just down to the Gecko playing on the off angle, but he does have a little bit of an advantage, only having to get a kill with that mosh pit, able to stop the defuse, but the smoke's still down. They're not going to be able to find Omen through the smoke. I spoke too soon. They are going to be able to, but it doesn't matter as they get the defuse off.
Great round. Again, the teamwork has been impeccable from UMD in these late round stages. again, just working together there, deciding, okay, hey, you're going to stick. I'll be a distraction. I'm going to push out. It's so calculated. It's working out great for UMD, and they might be able to end this half 6-6, which looked unimaginable if you ask them during the first 4 rounds.
Yeah, I mean, even if they go down now, it's still a 5-7 half, which is perfectly fine. But I mean, they lost 5 rounds in a row and didn't give up, and now I mean, we could be looking at a tied half, which was, like you said, unimaginable going into this. So Louisville, fortunately, they're going to be able to get the call right this time. 5 players pushing down onto UMD's weak site, just down to Napaso to hold on to the site at all, rather than just play a retake, and gets a beautiful shot into the Killjoy before he goes down. But unfortunately, UMD is still down for the round. But they've left 3 ultimates online, so you cannot count them out of this round. That showstopper can be also a Louisville stopper, so you got to be worried about that.
And the Sky ultimate can just be such an issue, and Ray's ultimate is initiated. Rewind finds one other than finds one very important player at that. Salamander's not able to find one through that smoke. Beans, though, gets taken by the Gecko ultimate, and what are you going to do there? You cannot do much of anything. And like you said, UMD not able to come away with that round, but 5-7 is not a bad place to be.
Yeah, absolutely. This is way more reasonable than the ask that they had going into the second half of that, of the other round from last game. But if they're able to just win some pistol rounds, they have been having trouble with the pistol rounds so far. I don't think that they've won any of the 3, but if they're able to get this one, they could even it up just immediately before the gun rounds even start. So UMD, this is probably the most pressure that they've had going into a gun round so far.
It's all about who wins these pistols. Whoever wins these next couple rounds, I think, is going to have the advantage and the momentum to just kind of run away with it, if everything else goes according to plan. So huge round for UMD. How will they get this attack side going? Looks like they're going to get it going by Rewind, using his utility to make a fast entryway onto site.
Yeah, able to push all the way onto site, and UMD actually completely clears out the site. No Louisville players to be seen, and UMD is not only able to get the plant, but they're able to get the plant in a very comfortable spot where it's going to be very hard for Louisville to stick the plant immediately. They're going to need to clear out UMD completely before they even think about getting the spike down. But UMD is not only not letting them get that control on the site, but not even letting them keep control in their spawn. We see several players just pushing all the way out there.
It does look like they're trying to push in, but UMD is holding down the fort with Rewind. Getting that first kill. UG is following up. Napaso, though, comes in huge to find those 2 attackers trying to make their way into the C site. And this is UMD's off to a great start on this attack side. This is exactly what they had to do.
Yeah, I mean, that pistol round looked completely different from any other pistol rounds that we've seen out of UMD. They looked so dominant and in control when normally it's just kind of been a little bit of a bloodbath on that UMD side. So able to get away with that flawless round, and Louisville is stuck buying shorties. Meanwhile, UMD is getting full shields, and they've even got some guardians to their name. So UMD is looking great, just deciding that push went so well, let's just run the same thing back.
And I cannot believe that Louisville's going to let them have it. There's nobody on C or B. They gamble stacked A. Was the wrong call for them. Hopefully UMD gets the read that the site is clear as day soon, so they're able to get this spike down as quickly as possible and set up their defenses for this retake.
Yeah, I mean, Louisville is only now starting to realize that their gambles, maybe not paying off, but I mean, you can see Louisville opting to regroup, on CT, and all of the space that they had even on A is kind of all for nothing. Is they would be in a similar situation if they had just waited and spawned until the spike went down. And they're keep in mind they're also pushing in with pistols against like a half buy from UMD. So it's gonna be less of an uphill battle and more of an up mountain battle. UMD is going to lose a couple to some very good utility from Phoenix, but they still only have pistols against, we see a Vandal coming out of Napaso. UG going to be able to find a headshot onto that Gecko. Napaso finding another shot, and UMD is going to be able to take that round and go up 7-7.
The energy is just so high on the UMD side. I can feel it from in here. They're honestly just hyping each other up so much right now. And that is exactly what you need if you want to complete this comeback story.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it feels like something of a solar eclipse, the way that it's day and night. The energy in this room. I mean, we saw it at the end of that last game. We saw at the end of that last game that you know, the UMD players were not really happy about what had happened, and you can't blame them. But now, I mean, it's just all smiles and high energy as they're back in this game 7-7.
Yeah, they're right back in this. Napaso getting things off started with a ghost. And Ugg is quickly there to follow, although he does get traded. It does look like UMD has B-site though, nonetheless. And they're holding down any of these retake angles. Salamander is able to shut down that retake. Napaso once again upgraded to a Stinger. It is all up to the Rays on the Louisville side.
Yeah, and you know, UMD's got to be really careful, but I mean, I wasn't even ready for that flank, and we have wall hacks compared to these enemy players. So, yeah, UMD doing a great job of you know, not giving Phoenix the 1v1s that they were giving him in that first game. I think that's probably the most important, the single most important adaptation that UMD has made is, you know, over and over again on split, they were just allowing you know, Phoenix on that race to kind of do whatever he wants and just take a 1v1 and then take a 1v1 and then take a 1v1, where now, I mean, we saw the players, you know, bobbing and weaving while, you know, actively getting healed by Sky, and all of that was just, you know, buying time for that flank to come around. So great team play from UMD, shutting down what was so dangerous in that first game.
Yeah, how they're approaching the fights with that one player specifically is just improved so much. I think that's what's led to a lot of their success, along with a lot of other things such as just like better team cohesion, honestly. So it does look like they're going to be pushing towards A site, where it looks like only really the KJ is in position to cause any issues for them, but she will definitely cause some issues taking down Rewind and is able to back away to safety inside that smoke.
Yeah, she is going to be forced off of her angle from that Omen blind, but you know, Louisville is going to be able to, you know, fully stabilize after getting that pick and be up 5-4. They only have Sheriffs, but Sheriffs, we've seen how deadly they can be. One headshot, you know, from a Vandal or a Sheriff doesn't really matter, but Bean's able to find, I think that was 2 for the round. Ugg going to be able to get another KO, and it's you know, 3v2, able to turn around, not quite able to get the Omen, but still knocking him down to very low HP, only about 1 HP. Benny now trapped in that back of sight, but bring around the Rosie a little bit. Salamander able to teleport out. He's cheating, you know, if you're on the playground, but in Valorant you're just playing well, and he's gonna be able to get the kill as well. Goes down to the bomb, but you can see that he could not care less. Swagging out a little bit, and I mean, this is esports. This is just a casual party game as he brings out that N64 controller.
Yeah, they're having so much fun. You can see it. Just okay, he's just toying around with that KJ at this point. But man, what of energy flip, like you were saying, just whipping out that controller. I think he was on the controller the whole time. You know, you gotta.
Yeah, it was weird why the controller's on the floor. I guess he must have dropped it, but he was able to, you know, pick it up and recover it. And you know, you certainly can't say that, you know, even if they're playing with the GameCube controllers, these are not squares. They're just having fun. And we're seeing now UMD going back to their roots, going for that A push. But now they're going to be pushing into 2 enemies, and they go for the Killjoy ultimate. But it felt like Louisville was prepared for that. The grenade that was thrown before the Killjoy ultimate even went down is going to shut down that ultimate completely. And we see the Seekers coming out from Beans as UMD goes for a rotate. It looks like they were just trying to make noise, but Ugg, where are you? You're already in spawn.
Oh my gosh.
I don't think that Louisville is ready for this at all. Unfortunately, Ugg's position is going to be revealed. Not quite going to be able to get a kill, but he still has a ton of space onto the site.
Yeah, he just had great position there. I don't think they're aware of this Fade, though, who's just sitting tree. Yeah, Bean's just not able to turn that quickly, but now everyone is aware Rewind does not want to leave anything up to chance, uses his ultimate to take him down.
And Ugg gonna be able to get another kill for it. yes, some of the UMD players are very low, but I mean the numbers are just in their advantage. But as I say that, the Gecko is going to be able to find one. It's now a 1v2, but UMD able to get the double swing, and they're going to take another round. They're looking so dominant. What looked like even halfway through the first half of this game, it looked like UMD had nothing.
Yeah, what happened? If we could just go back to when UMD was 4-0, they just were losing these rounds, round after round. It felt like they had no momentum on their side. Take a look at the scoreboard. Just things suddenly flipped for them, and they've just been so dominant since then. I want to credit Salamander at 18-9, just pulling off the impossible on Omen, nonetheless.
Yeah, I mean that's not a player that you typically see at the top of the scoreboard, but I mean he's just we could see he's fully utilizing that kit, able to get full utility. And speaking of utility, UMD getting all the way on to C, not losing any players. They lost one mid, but as far as their really the spear of this attack, they're not going to be slowing down anytime soon as they get the plant down. And they also, if they're able to realize it, have full control into the back of site. Omen just deciding to back away, not wanting to deal with any of these players using that ultimate, and that was perfectly timed. He was, really dead to rights, and now just playing for full control.
Spike is down, so UMD is just left to keep that ticking, as it does look like Louisville's going to try and make their way onto site. Salamander is not letting them have any of it, though. All up to Phoenix here, and again, they're playing those 1v1, or not even those 1v1s, they're playing against him so calculated as they just triple swing into them, and that's exactly what you got to do. You just got to keep shutting him down. Yeah, and I mean, I was talking last game about like a hierarchy, quote unquote, of ultimates, and saying, I would have gone down in the quote book saying that the Omen ultimate has very, very little utility, not really a good ultimate, but it basically single-handedly won UMD the round. I mean, at best, Omen was getting one kill, and I mean, with the raised boombot, narrowing in on his position, I doubt he would have been able to find one, but instead he's just able to reposition and play in a cheeky smoke and able to find two for the round. And this is the first timeout we've seen taken by the Louisville side. Yeah. We could just, even in the little closet where we can hear them from the other room just shouting, rejoicing. Like, they gotta be pretty loud for us to be able to hear them wearing these heavy headsets and the door. So that tells you they just are just so happy. They're so energized right now, bouncing off of one another, hyping each other up. UMD in their driver's seat. This is looking very possible that they could send this to the 3 maps. Yeah, and this is what you get when you play, in this, all the players in the same space. I remember hearing, even during split when they were when the spirits were lower, just saying, "Hey man, like give me I think I heard one of the players just like asking for a fist bump, just anything that these players can do to make sure that they're fully aware it's they're playing as a team." But I mean, they don't need any kind of recognition now for that, as Rewind able to get control all the way around this pillar. And are they going to be ready for these, the 3-stack of UMD? Unfortunately, we are going to see the showstopper come out from Louisville, but it's not going to find anybody. Only a chunk of Rewind's HP, and UMD is still looking pretty good for this round, even though Louisville opened with the showstopper. And UMD finding those early picks, it's already a 3v5 numbers advantage for UMD. Paso extends that lead to 2v5, and things just are falling apart on the Louisville side. HP not looking good for the Gecko. However, they're able to make some issues and take down Salamander. So UMD is just going to kind of take that spike and run towards C-site to find some security in their utilities and their setup after they get the spike down. Yeah, Gecko is going to be able to find 2, but it's still a 3v1. And I mean, as UMD is planting, he's nowhere to be seen. He's finally going to peek out, but he's peeking into 3, and he's not going to be able to find any. Ugg is going to be able to get the kill as UMD is now, I believe, on match point. And who would have thought? I know we keep coming back to that, but really, who would have thought? Especially on Split. Split was so Louisville was so dominating on Split. UMD just has cracked the code, it seems like, in this game. And hopefully, if they are able to take this game away, continue that energy onto map 3.
Yeah, it's ironic that as soon as they drop the Cypher, they're going to be able to crack it, as they have not lost a single round in this half. It's just been a full flawless 7 rounds so far, as it's now 12-7. They just need to find one more round, and I'm not sure Louisville's economy is in a good place to hold off this this onslaught that they're gonna have to endure.
It's just one Louisville player on A. This is consistent to what we've been seeing in the previous games, so I think UMD has to be aware of that. I think they're very aware of this Fade's positioning, especially with that eye being thrown. They're all going to push her into tree. Looks like they're going to coordinate a double swing. It works out flawlessly for the UMD side.
Yeah, and we haven't really been talking about specific adaptations that UMD has been making, but I don't know if you remember, Hobby was playing in that same exact place, and he was able to find, I think, 2 for the 2 by himself just in that position, and now he isn't able to find any. We do see a double satchel coming onto the site from Phoenix, but he's not throwing the side anymore. He's just kind of, it feels like one of those little balls of fuzz that you have to take off yourself after a hike. It's UMD now up 4 to 2, now 3 to 1, but I don't think that Louisville is going to be able to have it. They are just going to fall, and that's going to be game 2 going to UMD.
And look at them, they're just so happy and just so in a high energy state to turn that game on its head. Hopefully they just are going to carry over whatever went well in this game into game 3 to come away with this one and secure 3rd place for them.
Yeah, I mean, just such a stark contrast. We saw it looked like despair on the faces of UMD after game 1, and now it's just smiles across the board. So UMD's got to be feeling really, really good going into this game 3. And I'm really curious to see what they're going to bring. Yeah,
well, we'll find out what happens. We'll catch you guys after a quick commercial break to see how the series will end.
Yeah, see you guys there.
Terp Adventures. Take flight at STAM. Host to countless Maryland events, programs, performances, and more. Feed your body. Feed your mind. Feed your soul. Let your talents soar. Dance, sing, perform. Find your thing. Join more than 800 student organizations and clubs. Find community here. Leadership lives here. Art thrives here. With space to grow. We're all just kids at heart. Let your imagination fly. Compete. Play. With wings on our feet. Here your spirit can fly. Here your soul lifts up. Here you remember those who came before. This is STAM. This is the Center for Campus Life, where Terp adventures take flight. You belong here. Come fly with us.
And I think by the end of the season, now we play together, everyone kind of jokes around a little bit more and kind of shines their natural ray. We're excited just to see them play better as well.
With the middle school program, the best part has been seeing the moments of teamwork where the middle schoolers really seem to get the game, and so that's when you can see they're starting to get a little bit hooked on how esports can be so fun.
Off game, or will Red turn things around?
Your ad tech stack is simple, streamlined, and easy to manage, right? Yeah, right. If you're an ad tech, then you know you have a problem. Ad tech is messy, and your tech stack includes way too many tools to effectively manage. At Playwire, we're here to uncomplicate your ad tech stack. We've consolidated the entire publisher ad tech stack into a single platform and added in proprietary technology and advanced tools to generate you even higher CPMs. Get access to an ad tech stack that is simpler and smarter.
Welcome back. It is game 3. I didn't think we'd be getting this far. The first game looked dire, and the beginning of game 2 was looking very similar, just more of the same. But then UMD came out of nowhere. It looked like everything just was aligned in the booth. Everything was aligned for the team, and I mean they look great. Yeah.
Yeah, after a little bit of warm-ups from both the production and the team, we are in this game. And speaking of being in this game, here we are. Round 1 has started. No time to think about agent select as Rewind and UGG already causing issues for the Louisville side.
Yeah, not only are they already on site, but they were able to force their way through mid. So an incredibly fast pace, which is definitely caught Louisville off guard. This is a complete change of pace from what we saw on on the first 2 games, and now they already have the spike down. KO's down to almost 1 HP, probably just 1 shot, and UMD is looking poised to win this first round.
100%, and everything just seems to be going so right for them. UGG finds 3 for this round. He's looking for a 4th potentially, and it's going to be Salamander who finds it. But man, I can just tell you, after being out with this team for like a minute during the commercial break, their energy is just unmatched to nearly any team that we've had in the studio, it feels like.
Yeah, no, the nerves are gone, and they're just having fun playing the best Valorant that they can, and that's another flawless.
Yeah.
This is, I mean, they're looking, I would say, more dominant even than Louisville was looking in that first game. I mean, this is the 2nd pistol round in a row for them to go completely flawless, and they don't look like they're slowing down anytime soon. As they're now opting to go for a B-side push. Unfortunately, that Chamber is going to be able to find 1, but he falls down, and Bean's able to find a 2nd one, and UMD still with the advantage in this round. That Bean's able to find a 2nd one, a wallbang with a headshot, as is going to be able to find Hobby. And are they going to be ready for this jet? They are. Salamander was getting timing a little bit, but it doesn't matter when you have a Valorant against a Classic, and now it's just down to this one pesky little Marshall. And Salamander able to get a one-shot. You've got a sniper rifle? Take a look at mine, he says.
And UMD, keep in mind, they're starting on attack. We didn't get to talk about it too much, but this is just showing such dominance, especially on the attack side, getting right up in their faces. And I see Rewind has an operator already opting for those expensive, just one-shot guns. That can be an issue for the Louisville side if they don't take care of that quickly.
Yeah, I mean, you could certainly, there's an argument that, you could chalk up the dominance that UMD has been having recently on the fact that, it really has only been on this attack the second half of last game, and now this is the first game that they've been starting on attack, as they're finally, looks like they're facing their first roadblock. Hobby on this killer, angle, able to find one. Is he going to be able to find a second one? Unfortunately, that Viper able to step in and save, save the skin of that jet. As it looked like Killjoy had the perfect kill lined up through that smoke with the Sova dart.
And UMD, for the first time this game, looking like their numbers down, and they're gonna have to actually really work together here, and they're not on site, so it does look like they're planning on rotating potentially towards B site or mid. They are gonna have to group together though before they take on any fights.
Yeah, it looks like Omen is thinking about going down mid, and he's gonna have to face that Gecko, which might be a little bit surprising. Ugg able to get a beautiful shot onto that KO, and is he gonna be able to watch the Sova as he plants? Unfortunately not. Phoenix able to dip out of that smoke and then teleport back in, which is, exactly why you use Chamber. But Ugg able to find a second shot. Unfortunately, Phoenix is shutting him down, and it's just all down to this Omen out of UMD, and he's just not ready for Benny. And looks like a little bit of VM going for the knife.
Please,
is he gonna be able to find it? He is, unfortunately, and gonna be able to hand that off right over to that Gecko. But UMD, pretty undeterred. We still see smiles even after what can be, pretty demotivating thing, getting knifed.
Yeah, let's see how that makes UMD respond in terms of, how they decide to work off of getting knifed. I know some teams take it personally more than others. Regardless, now they're going to be up against an operator from the Louisville side, in the hands of Chamber, who is especially useful with that operator because he can just TP out of if he misses his first shot. Yeah,
I mean, this Chamber has been the player that it feels like has been the biggest roadblock, but for this round it's looking to be Shiraku. They're going to be able to find the Viper out of UMD. Fortunately, UMD still has the Omen, so they're not fully out of controller, but still Viper is very, very powerful on this map, and you want to talk about good on this map. Sova also going down is going to be a huge hindrance for UMD on this round.
And UMD, once again, 2-5. It looks like they're trying to make their way onto the site, and it's worked out for them so far as they've been able to level things out a little bit. They do have Spike in hand. It looks like they're actually going to rotate, which is just a smart decision, as U of L does not have that call yet. And they're kind of just standing, waiting for any information to come by before they rotate, it looks like.
Yeah, but, don't talk about the rotate too quickly, as UMD not committing to it, hoping that Louisville actually rotates off, and we already see the Gecko walking off. It looks like Chamber kind of wants to leave as well. Are they going to be able to get somebody on this rotate? We see the Viper playing for that, playing for that shot, and Omen trying to get a little bit of a surprise going, but unfortunately they're not going to be able to find anybody, and they just need to win this 2v3. It's as simple as that. Gecko going to be able to find the Killjoy. Beans finds one, but he has to find two more, and there's only 10 seconds left. Both are on site though, so this is completely doable. Able to find one. Is he going to be able to find second? He finds it! Gets 4 for the round, and it's a huge win for UMD.
Great effort from Beans, just not giving up there, baiting out that spike. Oh my gosh, Beans has to be over the moon right now. He played this perfectly. Watch as he just baits out that spike, gets off of it, and decides to peek both of them with such confidence, and just really asserts himself as just that guy who can take on a 2v1.
Yeah, no, Beans is Beans just cutting through Louisville. I thought if I was Beans there, maybe even consider saving a weapon or you know, playing for just the plant money. But you know, Beans just deciding, no, I'm just gonna kill him. I'm just gonna shoot once, and then I'm gonna shoot again, and I'm gonna win the round. And that's exactly what he does. So you gotta be really careful, Hobby. All the way onto the top of this ramp. There's no way that UMD is expecting them to be there, but at least they need to be conscious that it's a possibility. And this KO is also super aggressive. Are they going to be able to find this Killjoy? Unfortunately, the double peek able to find one, but UG is going to be able to find a second one. They're pushing even farther up. A beautiful shot from Phoenix going to shut down Rewind's push, as no, UMD is just flushing their way on the site, able to find the chamber, as they're going to be up 3-1 now. UG is still holding down the flank. Not aware of that last Gecko player, but you know, at the end of the day, it's still a 3v1. They can afford to lose even, you know, even a player and still be in the advantage. The mosh pit coming out, going to force UG out of position, but he's just going to win the fight anyway and survive with his life. So yeah, UMD looking super confident.
UMD is on fire. They're playing everything with just that edge. They're not afraid to take these fights. They're playing with just so much confidence. Even you can see UG there not running away after getting caught in that mosh pit, but rather holding his ground there and saying, hey, I know this guy's going to swing into me because he thinks I'm running. I'm not going to run. I'm going to hold this angle. And it's just been working out beautifully for them.
Yeah, no, UMD is actually playing, even though their emotions are high, and I think it's easy to let the adrenaline kind of kick in and you just, you know, play on autopilot. UMD is doing a great job of consciously taking their fights, and with the 5-stack forcing a full rotate from Louisville off of A site now. You know, I think it was a little bit premature as UMD is walking their way all the way onto A instead, and you know, Louisville is only now walking back to that site.
Such a great play call from UMD. They're just creeping up to this A site quietly. It looks like they're not going to have any of, like, many if all defenders on contesting this A site for Louisville. Nobody's really going to put up a fight until that call comes in that the utility is being invested on. Now Louisville will rotate, but they're going to be forced to find out how they're going to retake.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the Viper was there, but she gets completely smoked off, and now UMD with the Viper's pit, able to just hold down the site. I mean, you know, you've got an operator on Louisville's side. How are you supposed to push into this you know, into the smoke? And in fact, you can't, as Phoenix is going to go down.
And UMD holding down the fort. They're just staying within their own Viper ultimate for the most part.
Yeah, Beans unfortunately teleporting out of it gets taken down, but you know, that's only one of 2 deaths to come out of UMD as they're up 5-1.
That is exactly the kind of lead you want to get on this attack side. Attack is mostly all about kind of asserting that dominance and that confidence, and that is exactly what they've done. And we see the second timeout of the series be taken by Louisville to sort of talk about what could go better for them on the defensive side. And take a look at the economy here. I'm not sure if Louisville's going to be able to buy after this timeout. So maybe this is a timeout to figure out how they're going to approach their buy rounds later on.
Yeah, a little bit of an interesting timeout to be coming out of that team is they're not going to be able to fully implement any strategies that they might have since, you know, like you said, their economy is so weak. So I'm curious why they decided to pop that timeout now rather than just wait around. But I mean, on the other hand, UMD is looking so dominant. I mean, I feel like if you're Louisville, you're just feeling a little bit lost.
Yeah, they haven't found anything that's been consistently working for them in terms of how to stop UMD's push. They just really haven't found that, you know, one consistent strategy that's led them to any sort of success. So honestly, they might just be thinking about how they can make like this round as painless as possible, considering they don't have a good economy to actually like do much of anything with unless they pull off an insane thrifty. So they're kind of just, again, like I said, most of that timeout seem to be talking about what happens once they get those guns in hand.
Yeah, I mean, I might have spoken a little bit prematurely as a huge aggressive push is coming out from Louisville, even though they only have those pistols, and they're just leaving Phoenix to completely fight this 5-man push coming down from mid. able to find one, but not ready for Killjoy on a little bit of a lurk, a flank, as UMD has full control of the site, and Louisville's nowhere to be seen. Basically, these teams have switched sides, but Louisville does not have a minute 40 to push onto the site. They only have about 40 seconds.
Napasso trying to take this fight here, does not come away with winning that fight. Rewind though is being really aggressive into Kitchen. Backs off a little bit.
Yeah, UMD just playing slowly with their smokes. They recognize that they just need to defend this, but they're having a little bit of trouble. Hobby able to get one with the knife, but Rewind able to find one, goes down, but Beans is able to find another. It's now a 1v2, and the spike's coming down really quickly. If he's able to get this pick, this is a totally doable fight. He's pushing out of the smoke, and he's able to find the second one. Beans 3 for the round, able to clutch up. Huge.
Another amazing clutch from Beans, just playing so smart. He's not taking these fights like immaturely. He's not getting too trigger happy and jumping in there. He's playing time. He's being smart about it. He's peeking out exactly when he needs to, and he's been just huge in these clutches.
Yeah, I mean, granted, they are in an ice box, but he's just doing a great job of not overheating. He's just, playing very slowly and carefully. And making sure that he's not, not letting this get to his head. He's just getting the kills. So UMD now going for a little bit of a change of pace. They're able to catch Phoenix out on this, on his aggression, and he's forced all the way back to site. Hobby with the operator though, able to shut down Rewind. I'm sure that he would want to rewind and be ready for that angle, but. Now Hobby going for a second one, able to get the kill onto UG as well, and UMD looks like they might now be finding the first really damper to their momentum that they've faced all game.
And this is what we were talking about during the timeout. It's once Louisville's able to get a decent buy in hand, what are they going to be able to do with it? It looks like a lot so far, at least with the operator, as UMD tries to regroup together. Hopefully it looks like they're trying to take B.
Yeah, they are going to lose Napasso, who is really the linchpin into pushing that. Now they just have to kind of funnel onto the site and hope that they get a kill. Phoenix able to get one, and even though Beans taps because of the, ironically because of that Omen blind, Louisville is not going to be fully aware of this blind, and unfortunately Beans going for a teleport just gets caught out by 2 players, and that's going to be the first round really a while that UMD is going to be dropping.
Yeah, and the question is, how do they respond after losing that round? You can't let it get in your head. You can't let it mess up that momentum you built up. But that's exactly what Louisville was hoping for, is a success out of a bye round to give just a little bit more cushion to their economy, to some of their players. But UMD, on the other hand, is going to match that with, for the most part, rifles in hand.
Yeah, you can talk about rifles though, but you gotta watch out for Hobby. Completely switching sides, playing on this, on this yellow box on B site. Fortunately for UMD, they get the read correctly, and they're not pushing into that jet at all. Instead, 4 players pushing onto A site and 1 going down mid. And that operator looking more like a not-parator, as nobody's pushing over there at all.
These puns are great. I'm all for it.
Thank you.
It does look like UMD pushing towards A site, but it's really heavily defended by Louisville right now. That they're going to try and use that KJ ultimate from Napasso to give them a little bit more leverage onto this site. And that's going to force Louisville to back away. Doesn't look like they have any intentions of breaking that KJ ultimate, so Plant is going to come down with relatively not much of an issue. Yeah,
1 player is going to get detained, but it looks like Louisville is going to be able to keep them alive very well. And even though Rewind is losing most of their artillery, as that suppression is going to take away their knives, UMD is still looking very, very good. Up 3-2 technically, but it's more like 1-4, and UMD is just going to be able to take that round. That Killjoy ultimate was so strong, even though they were pushing into a full 4 stack. It ended up being more like a 1 stack, as 3 players were completely forced off of their angles.
And great response from the Terps there, not letting that 1 round that Louisville's able to find turn into a run for them. Able to shut down any momentum that Louisville might have built instantly, as UMD is looking to close out this half on the attack side.
Yeah, and it looks like they're getting the read completely right again, as B is looking somewhat free for UMD, as that's also the site that they're stacking. 4 players walking down into nobody. I mean, the closest that you have is this Chamber who's trying to get, you know, pressure down mid.
And UMD just has had such good, I don't know if it's luck or just game sense of where they're deciding to push. It's always been the opposite of where the gamble stack is for Louisville. And Ugg is just sitting in spawn. This is the first time we've seen him do this, so I don't know if Louisville's going to be completely ready for this. Looks like he's going to make contact soon with Phoenix. And he's certainly been spotted. He backs off a little bit, trying to find the kill, finds that kill. He's going to probably run away towards B side to regroup with the rest of his team.
Looks like he's going to get the timing as well. Just doubles back, not quite trusting himself, and he's going to end up falling. Omen now the only player remaining, going to go for the teleport, seeing what kind of clutch he can muster up, because, you know, the Omen ultimate, yes, he's down 1-3, but he's going to be able to get full plant, and, you know, the Louisville team is also kind of all over. If he's able to get 3 1v1s, he's able to get the first one. He just needs 2 more kills now, and this is, you know, suddenly looking super doable from, you know, the ashes of, you know, a round that looked like it was burning to the ground.
Bean's just not able to clutch it up, but he has been so huge in these clutches. So rare miss for Beans there, but UMD is able to maintain their lead, pretty substantial lead as of right now. So certainly they're not in a place to panic.
Yeah, I mean, you know, even if they lose these next 2 rounds, which the rate that they've been going at is at the very least unlikely, you know, they'd still be at a 5-7 round split, which is, I mean, positive. So definitely something that they'd be looking forward to, as they're going into a timeout now. I think this is a great time from from Dusty, the coach, just saying, yeah, we're doing great, but we're gonna get another timeout for the second half anyway. Let's just talk about what we can do to win these last 2 rounds.
Yeah, I don't mind this timeout at all, considering Louisville has kind of creeped their way into this a little bit. They've gotten a couple of the last various rounds, so I think this is a great place to take a timeout. I think this is a great place to pause and think about how you want to finish out your attack half, and also maybe start to talk about what you want to start planning on defense, because this is such an important half, the next half especially, for both sides. This is going to be the decider of who wins this series, so you want to start preparing for that too. Yeah,
I'm glad that you bring that up, because that is one of the advantages of bringing all that momentum through the beginning of that half. Is not only have they not really needed a timeout, but honestly, if anything, the timeout would have just slowed down their momentum. So they're able to hold this and essentially get 2 timeouts in the second half, as well as a dominant first half. So UMD is looking fantastic. They have that Silva ultimate up and online. So if they're able to get this plant down, they should be able to just play their util. They've got the Phoenix. They've got the Viper snake bites, as well as those shock darts, and so and that's on top of that. They also have the Killjoy mollies. So a Spike looking more like a death trap if they're able to get that online.
And look at this read again. All the Louisville players were A. Again, Maryland taking full advantage of that and pushing B. It looks like they're going to be able to get spiked down soon with no problem. The reads have just been impeccable by UMD, as UGG finds the first for the UMD side for this round.
Yeah, and yeah, like you said, I mean, they got spiked down, and I mean, UGG is able to find 2 for the round. It doesn't even really matter. It's UMD full control, and I mean, Louisville, it looks like they can just, their best bet for this round is just to kind of peek and hope for the best. Gecko is going to be able to find UGG, but he's absolutely done what he needs to for this round, and we're seeing how the time tick down. We are going to see the Viper ultimate coming out, but Rewind finds 2, finds 3! Beautiful shots, shutting down that Viper ultimate, shutting down any chance for Louisville to come back in that round. Beautiful stuff.
Great stuff from Rewind, like you were saying, just leaving nothing up to chance though. Yes, if he played time, he probably would have been able to get this round regardless, but he decides this round in style.
Yeah, style is absolutely the word for it, as UMD up 8-3 now. I mean, we might be seeing the exact opposite of what we saw game 1. We saw a 9-3 with no momentum for UMD's side, and now we might be up 9-3 with all the momentum in the world.
it would really come full circle if that's what we did see. Again, just look at the positioning from Louisville. They keep stacking A. UMD keeps going towards B. This time, though, there is a fast rotate towards the B side, which is something we really haven't seen in the last previous rounds. So how is UMD going to deal with that?
Yeah, I love the double Viper wall from both teams, just, you know, shutting down any kind of aggression, offensive or defensive. But we see the Viper ultimate, and I think it's super interesting. Even though they've invested ultimate that is able to get space for them, it keeps all of Louisville on site. When look at UMD, they're on A.
Such a smart decision, such a smart game plan there. They're keeping that ultimate alive because UGG is just staying in there, and that's gonna lead to not that many people rotating, and UGG causing damage as well on the way. Great play call.
Yeah, he finally goes down, but I mean, he did so much for the round, gets a pick, and fully gets control of A-Site, you know, by himself in a sense, as it's now 2v2. And Louisville not only needs to push onto site, but they need to, you know, clear out not only directly the site, but also Nest, because that's where the spike's planted for. They're able to find two beautiful shots from Rewind, able to find a second one, and I mean, that's going to, as we get to the end of that half, what is he doing?
He is just on fire recently, and hopefully that momentum just keeps on going to the defensive side, where I wonder if they're going to opt to push out and be aggressive on the defense side, given how we're seeing Rewind play, or if they're going to sit back a little bit and let Louisville call the shots first and respond to it.
Yeah. God, that was such a nasty shot onto that enemy jet. And you know, just like we were saying, 9-3, UMD is up, and you know, looks like Louisville's only hope is to hope that dreaded curse comes through. I'm not going to, you know, I'm gonna, you know, zip my mouth,
silent.
make sure that the only curses affecting Louisville are gonna be that that 9-3.
UMD opting for aggression on the A side. They are gonna, I think, make contact sooner rather than later.
Looks like I might have jinxed UMD, as we are going to get a disconnect out of Rewind, and he's not in a very safe position at all, but UGG is going to be able to get that first pick onto Hobby. So, you know, at this point, worst case scenario, it's still just a 4v4. UMD is looking great.
And UMD looks like they're still holding pretty aggressive angles as they're defending A site. Rewind is disconnected, so keep that in mind.
Yeah, and he's just going to go down, unfortunately. That aggression just not good, not well timed at all for when the disconnect is coming down. You got to be really careful. Getting the timing, even though the wall went down, you know, against their best interests. UMD still up 3-2 in this round, so they're looking really poised to take this pistol round as well.
UMD, like you said, in a great place to take. The spike is not down yet for Louisville. Keep that in mind. They're against the clock. HP looking so low on the Louisville side. Salamander capitalizes off of that and just dances around that corner.
Yeah, just doing a great job isolating 1v1s, even though Louisville was double stacking. It should have been impossible you know, it should have been impossible for him to get those kills individually, but yeah, just doing a great job of bobbing and weaving.
And let's see how UMD takes on these potentially last couple rounds. Are they able to charge through, or is Louisville gonna cause some issues here as they start to near 13?
Yeah, we're going to see the Silver Dart coming out from A, just give a whole bunch of intel. It does get shot, but that's intel in and of itself. UMD knows that Louisville's opting to push onto this A side, and they've got two players on site. A third one is coming in to help, as UMD is looking like they should be able to hold this down. Louisville searches on the site. They're going to be able to get on, but at what cost? The cost is two players, and, you know, they kind of hand the spike over to UMD as well.
Such a quick and decisive round for UMD. They just held down A site with everything they had. Like I said, UGG is coming in huge there, but other than that, everyone else is finding their own picks as well. People are winning their individual 1v1s as Louisville's trying to take their way onto site, and that has been all the difference in that round, but also throughout this whole game.
Yeah, and we see now 3-11, so, you know, Louisville really needs to win this, win this round. If they lose it, they're gonna have, you know, zero wiggle room, which is completely stark opposite of what we saw in Game 1. And they also don't really have the weapons to win this round either. I saw maybe one Guardian, but otherwise just pistols. And Beans getting a nasty wallbang, gonna be able to take out Gecko. Salamander is just saying, I've got better guns. I will take whatever fight you want. And Rewind, doubling down on that. Unfortunately, taking a little bit of damage, but it doesn't even matter. Rewind's going to be able to get the kill, and it's just down to this Jet player gonna get caught out by that Sova drone, and unfortunately, is gonna go down. But UMD still up 4-1.
Yeah, and this Jet does have an outlaw, so UMD has to be cautious about that and taking these long-range fights. It's going to be about double swinging or playing this together somehow in order to take them out.
I don't think Hobby is looking to try to get this kill, but I don't think he's ready for the Killjoy, who's almost traded spots with Hobby at this point. And so Hobby needs to keep an eye out for the Sova in front, but just gets wallbanged by the Killjoy, like I said. And that's going to be match point, but also series point for UMD.
UMD somehow, some way, are on the brink of taking a series away after what looked so, not optimistic for UMD in the first game especially, and for the first half of the second one. They have just done such a good job at turning things around. And check the scoreboard too. 21-8 has been such a huge member for this team, and Beans following right behind him has been just so important in clutch situations especially.
Rewind playing so aggressive with that operator. You can see, it just goes to show how confident UMD is. Unfortunately, confidence is a little bit of a double-edged sword, as Beans is going to go down on a swing into 5 players from Louisville. And Napazo going to follow quick under those footsteps. Hobby is going to be taken down by Salamander, but UMD is still at a disadvantage for this round.
And Salamander, though, gets a great shot. He's sitting towards Snowman, just trying to buy a little bit of time for his teammates to rotate over and help him out. Spike is planted, so UMD has to deal with this quickly.
Yeah, we're seeing some shock darts coming out from Salamander, just hoping to get a little bit of damage, able to get another kill. And that's a 4K, cold-blooded out of Salamander, and UMD is going to be able to take this game, and that's going to be the series as well. UMD 2-1. What a beautiful comeback.
Yeah, this team has so much to be proud about just by this game alone, let alone the rest of the season. I'm sure they've had their wins, their losses, but man, this game tells you so much about this team and just the mental fortitude and the level of communication they have. They deserve 3rd place.
Yeah,
definitely.
Absolutely. That was, if not second or first, the play of a third place team for sure. And I would also say, the play of a nationals team as well. So really hope that was enough to push them over that brink and get them to that championship. But I mean, at the very least, they're able to get that podium, and what a great game to end their season on as well.
Yeah, they have a lot to be proud of here, and thank you guys for watching. This has been such a amazing series to watch.
Yeah, that's gonna be it from us in the studio. I hope that you guys have a great night, and we'll see you guys next time.